So we have started looking at methods of charging on an electroscope and using our metal rod, or excuse me, our rubber rod and our glass rod, and giving them different charges. So this method, just simply charging by friction, when you rub two materials together, it transfers electrons from one object to the other. So we know that protons cannot move. If they moved, you would spontaneously get a new material. It is only the electrons that will move from objects and off of objects. When we rub a plastic rod or a rubber rod with fur, that creates a negative charge. The rubber or the plastic holds onto electrons very strongly, and the fur gives up electrons very easily. So the fur is left with a deficit of electrons, resulting in a positive charge, and the rod is left with an excess of electrons, resulting in a negative charge. A glass or acrylic rod rubbed against silk will cause a positively charged rod. So just the opposite. The silk holds on to the electrons very strongly, and the glass or acrylic will give them up very easily. So most often when we are kind of keeping track of charges, though we know that protons don't actually move, we won't represent an accurate representation of what's going on in the object. So rather than draw each individual electron, we can just draw positives and negatives to represent charge. But we know that there are always protons present, and there's usually some electrons, and they're the ones that are moving. So yesterday you did some research about charging by conduction. Charging by conduction, you use a charged object to charge a neutral object through contact. So conduction, contact. So here's an example here. I start with a neutral conducting sphere. This is on an insulating rod so that the charge cannot travel from the sphere to the ground. A negatively charged rod is brought close to the neutral conducting sphere, but not touching just yet. And when this happens, this first step, this is called polarization. So no charges have moved yet, but the negative, the electrons, will try and get as far away that the space allows from this negatively charged rod. And this, when this happens, when the overall charge is neutral, but there is an excess of negative and an excess of positive, we call this polarization. Step 2, we actually make the contact. So we bring the negatively charged object in contact with the conductor. When this happens, excess electrons will travel from the rod to the conducting sphere. So charges are always trying to reach a state that is in balance, in equilibrium. They don't want to feel excess charge. So all these extra electrons are still like repelling each other. They're trying to get as far away from each other as they can, so they move on to the conducting sphere. So now the conducting sphere has a negative charge. So when charging by conduction, which is contact, the neutral object ends up with the charge of the charged object. So we started with a negative rod, we ended up with a negative charge on the object we were charging. If we started with a positively charged rod, we would end up with a positive charge on the object we were charging. So induction is a little bit different. It starts off almost the same way, but when we charge by induction, there is no contact between the charged object and the neutral object. So same starting point, neutral conducting sphere, then we bring a negatively charged object close, and that results in polarization of the conducting sphere. When we charge by induction, what we are doing is bringing the ground in contact with the object we're trying to charge. So that's represented here by our 3 lines. Often ground can be our finger, a wire to the ground, literally a connection to ground in some way. Because ground acts as a sink or a source of electrons. So it can either add electrons or take away extra electrons. So in this case, the electrons on the sphere are being repelled by the negatively charged rod. So they're going to leave through this ground attachment because they're trying to get as far away as possible from the negatively charged rod. They're being repelled. Now that you would remove ground first, then you would remove the charged rod, and now you've end up with a positive charge on the sphere, on the object you were trying to charge. So when charging by induction, the neutral object will end up with the opposite charge to the originally charged object. So we started with a negative, we end up with a positive.